Hi everyone and welcome back to SwitchUp. I'm Mark Walker and today we're going to go through a new game called Monster Harvest, everything you need to know about it and hopefully highlight why this is one I've had my eye on for a while. Thanks to Merge Game for sponsoring this video. This one's had my Stardew Valley senses tingling, so what do you need to know? Well, let's find out. Developed by Maple Power Games, Monster Harvest sees itself being released on the Nintendo Switch on the 31st of August, and it would describe itself as a monster collecting and farming action RPG with a twist. You can grow, collect and mutate your crops and then take them into battle, filled with places to discover and multiple ways to build your farm. Get ready to craft, explore and battle across the vibrant world of Planimal Point. The story goes that your crazy professor uncle has discovered slime. Yeah, slime. A substance that can be used to mutate plants into animals. He's far too busy continuing his research to even consider running the family farm, so what does he do? He hands the responsibility to you, which seems entirely fair considering you have very little experience running one. In this world at least. But you better not argue with him because he has some crazy eyes. As you adventure through the world of Planimal Point, you'll learn how to farm like a professional, as well as becoming an expert monster wrangler, battling your way through the world with your plant-based animal creations. The thing we love about these relaxing farming games is the way they implement their unique features and mechanics, so let's take a look at them. As you're probably getting used to with Nintendo Switch farming sims, Monster Harvest is a top-down 16-bit pixel art style, with that distinctive throwback look. It's a style that many people adore, and it's the vibrant choice of colour which really stood out to me. It can look deceptively simple, but it's clearly apparent that a lot of work has gone into this game. As far as performance goes, it looks to be running well, and I know for a fact this is going to appeal to many of you. One of the biggest features of this game is the fact that you will be utilising some of the aforementioned different types of slime to mutate your farm's plants into unique and powerful monsters called Planimals, monsters who will loyally follow you on your journeys around the colourful map. This was a welcome addition to the genre, and something I wasn't expecting going into it, assuming that Monster Harvest was going to be another standard farming sim, but in hindsight that seems a bit daft considering the game's called Monster Harvest. It's an addition that I really enjoyed, and it obviously is a pivotal feature in this gameplay. Now, that being said, not every plant needs to be mutated into a planimal, because nobody really needs an entire army of mutated potatoes called Mutatos. Your farm has a commissions board that can be utilised to sell some crops to help generate that much needed in-game currency. Currency that will come in handy when it comes to upgrading certain parts of your farm, such as your barn or even your own home. It soon becomes apparent that Slimeco, the company's bad guy, is going to be a bit more of a problem, and you're going to need to defend Planimal's Point from them using your entourage of Planimal companions. Combat within the game is turn-based with RPG elements. As you progress and level up your Planimals, you'll in turn unlock new attacks and abilities, each making life easier. This is one of those games that doesn't do a day and night in the traditional sense of a timed cycle. Instead, it incorporates that increasingly familiar stamina-driven day-night cycle, whereby each task carried out takes away a certain amount of stamina. Once you use all of it, it's time to go to bed and rest to regenerate, which is exactly like Stardew Valley. However, one interesting mechanic in Monster Harvest is the ability to rest and regain some extra stamina, then wake up again in the evening of the same day to either continue with those daily chores or the slightly more dangerous prospect of carrying out unique tasks such as exploring the in-game cave system, where there are materials and enemies that can be found. Though be careful, it doesn't give you much, maybe 30% extra, so you have to use it wisely. As would be expected in the horticultural world, the game has different seasons, these being dry, wet and dark. These seasons, combined with varying weather conditions, also affect which crops can be grown and how you take care of them. On your adventures around Planimal Point, you will forge relationships with the quirky inhabitants of the game's world. If the NPCs start to like you, they'll treat you and make your life a little bit easier, chiefly by offering unique bonuses, such as discounts in their stores or even giving you gifts. Now, one thing that should be apparent about running farms is the laborious nature of the day-to-day chores. Obvious, right? Well, in this game, they've got that covered. As you progress, you'll eventually learn how to automate your daily chores in order to spend more of your precious stamina adventuring and saving Planimal Point from Slimeco. Because nobody can save the world if they have radishes to water. That's a fact. Crafting is obviously another feature in this genre of game that always finds itself present, and Monster Harvest is no exception. Materials such as rocks, wood and iron can be gathered using the standard tools available right from the start and turned into both decorative and functional items. And of course, Monster Harvest ultimately has that chilled out farming simulator vibe. It's an incredibly relaxing game while also being quite challenging. As we mentioned, Monster Harvest is released on the 31st of August. Not only is the game launching at a very reasonable £14.99, the pre-orders have now gone live, which will save you a further 20%. This isn't a review, so there aren't any scores, but keep your eye out for our full review, and there's plenty of content here to keep you occupied for £14.99. The monotony of farming sim is broken by the need to use your crops in brutal combat. Hopefully this has given you a good idea and a little taster of why we've been so excited for Monster Harvest, and thanks so much to Merge who agreed to sponsor this video, as we wanted to tell you all about it before our full review. If you enjoy the channel, then do consider sticking around, and as always, a big thanks to our patrons who support us each and every month, and to all of you who watch and leave comments. For all things Switch, all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers guys, see ya!